An from Korea.
I'm Ang from the Philippines.
I'm from Thailand.
Laura and Buck from the Philippines.
I'm Layla from Australia.
I'm Leah from Korea. Okay. Our project is called Ahan Box. Ahan means food in Thai, and we have our logo OK, which means good as well. And so it basically means a fine food box. Yeah. And here in Thailand, food plays such a big role in our culture. As you see on the street, every corner has a street vendor, and there are many types. Sit down, you can sit down, or you can also take away, and that's very convenient as for myself and take away. And yeah, we find some issues from the research here. I know kind of research.
So obviously the street vendors are a really integral part of the Thai community and culture. And there's a lot of opportunities for engaging with these people who are basically getting their sustenance and food sources from the food vendors. But we've identified a few issues about this actual process. And mainly, we've got issues with waste. Obviously, there's a lack of waste management facilities in Thailand currently, so we have problems with littering. And it's estimated that there's going to be, by 2015, over 15,000 tonnes of waste generated per day in Bangkok. And in particular, one of the issues is foam packaging and other plastic type packaging which is used for disposable takeaway type of meals. Currently there's around 60% of vendors who use the foam packaging, and every day over 18,000 tonnes is generated of plastic packaging waste in Bangkok. And if you yearly, we have 1.5 million boxes just being generated from festivals in Bangkok. So you could imagine how big an issue this is, and with the increase in concerns about hygiene from the general consumers and from the government, then there's going to be some other pressures that placed on the existing food traders to increase the use of disposable packaging. Issues regarding issues with the reusable plate, and of course as well washing up, which it looks like there may be pressure in the future for governments to shift away from each storeholder actually doing their own washing up, which presents an opportunity. And there are actually a number of opportunities that come out of this. And one thing that we noticed is that traditionally Thai people, like many other people in the Southeast Asian region, will take their food to work or to school in a Tiffin box. Unfortunately, this culture has shifted away from it, and it's mainly still conducted by farmers or people in remote areas or monks and school children. And one of the main issues we feel has happened with this transition is that the historical kinds of cultural representations maybe not in touch with some of the younger people of today. And it's maybe not seen cool, or it's not seen as something that people want to do, and it's not very convenient. You have to wash it yourself. But we think there's a lot of opportunities in this product about reintroducing it, about creating an intervention that will stimulate the redevelopment of a cultural tradition and help to reduce some of the issues that we identified. The main opportunities that we have with this is the increased standards of food production, in general health and hygiene, as well as environmental issues. There's employment opportunities. Gainful employment as a result of an intervention. There, of course, will be reduced waste of expired packaging, which is a habit of floating, especially if you have floods in the ocean. And there's a lot of economic benefits as well for the not only the storeholders but the general community. So, what are we doing? What are we actually talking about here? Well, first we need to identify our target market. Who are we trying to engage now?
Our target market, that's all you know. First off, we have the information that Bangkok has a population of 9.6 million people as of 2011. The labor force of that 9.6 million comprises only 58%. Out of the 58%, there are formal workers that are 59% of the labor force. Formal workers, meaning formal workers, meaning formal workers, meaning office workers and retail and commercial workers, not really construction workers. So that comprised 3.3 million people that we want to serve. So what are our idea?
Well, first, we'd like to introduce some new service integration to the market, which we call a handbox. And this is actually composed with two stakeholders. One is customer. We are going to help the customer to use this system, and the other part is the vendor, obviously, and how we are going to work for these people. We're going to just tell the story later in detail. But at the same time, because there are like so many different types of customers, customer who wants to dine in, customer who wants to pick it up, drive through. Well, we call it drive through. Or there's other customers that we can create. People who wants to order from the office, which actually quite practically almost impossible these days right now because the technical issues of the vendors. But once we introduce this service, obviously people can do that. And in order to facilitate these ideas, we're thinking of creating two types of systems. One is the cart, basically the Tiffin exchange cart that actually collect all those used Tiffin and give it back to the clean Tiffin to the vendor. The other one is we call it Tiffin exchange station, which could be located along with the BTS system or certain static locations. So then before we go into the more details of how it works, let's take a look at one of those. Is it one of our stakeholders, what their favorite and their desires of this market?
So I've got one of those. It's called a techno presentation, not technologically advanced, clearly. Basically, we're looking at one of the main things identified by the TCGC report in looking at vendor desires was that our local vendors want to they want to increase their sales, they want to be proud of the food they produce, and they want to be in a better street vendor. They want to be better street vendors, and they want to be more environmentally responsible. And the opportunity also from the consumer side of things is that 66% of those interviewed were willing to pay an extra $5 to reduce environmental impact of packaging. There is a willingness to pay and a cost revenue opportunity through the desires of the consumers to have more environmentally responsible packaging. So how is this system going to work?
So we have developed this system. On the left-hand side, we have a system that integrates towards the existing one. Okay, so as you will see, the customer will always have to go towards the food vendors. Food vendors are symbolized with the cart above and below. And then they will still have to pay. And then apart, we will be replacing the existing packaging with the Ahan boxes. So you will see an exchange of the Ahan boxes, which is full, goes to the customer, he consumes it, and whatever vacant boxes, either they can go give it to the Ahan carts, or we go to the vendors. And then of course we have these clean boxes that is also redistributed to the vendors. So this is a dine-in, and this is a drive-through system. A new system is the customer can also go to our website where we can operate, and they pay through that system, and then our delivery team will take on all the orders and then communicate with our food cart, and then the food delivery team will also just distribute it to our customers. And this is our website where you can see all these food items, and of course we have to fill in all these details. So we will discuss the scenarios.
So the first scenario is the dining scenario. So imagine I'm a hungry customer, I go to a street vendor, pick up one of these boxes, eat it, return it to him. At the end of the day, different exchange cart comes in, picks it up, cleans it, and then brings it back to the vendor who places food for which to sell to the customer. We also have take-out versions, which I buy it again, I take it anywhere, leave it anywhere where it's convenient for me. After I'm finished, I drop it off either in convenient Tiffin exchange stations, and at the end of the day, Tiffin exchange card picks it up, cleans it again, brings it back to the vendor, which then puts to the process.
Okay, thank you.
We're currently holding it together here, Jeff.
This is a pickup scenario. You can use your smartphone. You say everybody has this. Smartphone to order somtam, yam, whatever you want, and then pick it up at the vendor. And it could be at the vendor or the pickup station, or can be delivered at this point. And then you just drop off on the way home when you finish. Going back home, UPS, and then returning it to the exchange card. They will clean it up, then go back to the vendor again. Next. This is an option. Like you can order a DIY package from the vendor. Like it's gonna be raw ingredients that you order from the vendor, and then you cook at home. And then in the morning, on the way to work, drop it off. And this is an option of the card. You can design the accessory or anything to upgrade the look of the brand. So, what does it look like?
So here is a really rough product idea through our system, as we mentioned. How do we really reintegrate the older version of the Tiffin box to a newer modern concept? We are mobile, we're on the go, small storage footprint, and most of all, how do we really provide a behavioral change of the young customers that really want to be part of the system? This is a modular approach that we were taking. It should act like a single box with the food and maybe like a container to store all the utensils. So you carry it as one handle, you can stack it up. And what's important is actually it throws as a product together. And you could take like 4 or 6, you could wrap it up into a sustainable yeah. So this is our vision towards providing a sustainable,